From the self-awareness, liberation and actualization to the outer implementation, an heuristic journey. The set is first obscure for a good while. The visitor is required to remove his shoes, and a patch is put on his eyes while introduced in a small humid type of textured cavity grotto with earth sand on the floor. He is required to lie down, inserting his finger on the ground. A long plastic sheet is covering him, then is thrown sand over it. He needs to experience death within his own vault. He hears some vague voice crying from outside. He is there for quite a while. Then, still in the dark, he needs to sit on a low chair for a few good minutes, and a small voice tells him to wonder, what did you leave behind in your past life? There is a sound of water drop in the cavity, in order to resent the humidity that could be in the tummy of his earth mother. Then the experiencer is taken out of the cavity pretty violently, moved around in a wide room with still very no light. His eyes are still unable to see with a patch. He is spun around in the room with high-pitched music, fan flowing over his body. Then he is required to drink liquids while hearing waterfall sounds, to cross flames with sound and smell of crispy burning. Then it becomes more quiet. There is an absolute silence. The visitor can listen at silence and at his own depth and breath. He has to sit on a long chair and he hears the sound of the crunchy bread being sliced, and he is required to masticate it. He touches the smelly cheese that he has to feel with his olfactic sense and then taste it. We open a bottle of wine. All his senses are supposed to get involved. It's an absolute sensorial moment. He drinks, smells, tastes, touches, hears all at once. Some small sounds or voices are coming a bit from everywhere, meaning nonsense in the room. Some external hands help the visitor standing up. Then the voice of a just-born baby is shot in the room while his patch is removed from his eyes. He first sees a very strong light that almost makes him blind. The light is coming from within a mirrored glass head, first very bright, then it diminished. When reduced inside the mirrored glass head, slowly a light from behind the visitor is brightening, as if he becomes himself the light, till he can reflect himself like in a mirror. The mirrored glass head is then rotating towards the wall at the end of the room, and from its side is projected a circle like an eye on the wall with a complex pathway on the floor. It's supposed to express the vision of the mind. On the floor is drawn with inserted lights the tree of life. The experiencing visitor is invited to walk through different spots, and each time he reaches the places a light is turned on there, and a name of a creative trait, skill, virtue or phase appears, and other lights are turned off or reduced. Along we can see with hours of light all the pathways, and sometimes some connection between those different places are lightened on, in the center when boundaries are made. Two sides for those pathways, representing both brain hemispheres, joining and connecting sometimes. The eyes projecting its vision of an eye keeps being reflected on the wall all the time. When the visitor is reaching the head of the tree of life, the projected eye on the wall keeps showing a little maestro man walking straight ahead but over the spinning circle. Lines and drawing represent each phases you went through. It just has completed linearly a circular creative round. Misters and Misses, you just have experienced your own rebirth, a journey from the self towards the outer of creative path, from a vision toward completion.